Hi, I'm Anita Pastor, and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything hypnosis. I am a QHHT practitioner and I specialize in past life regression. Thanks for joining my channel, as my goal this year is to share things with you that will help inspire and empower you for a great 2025. Blessings for everyone, and let's all work together so that we get through this next crazy year. So I was basically inspired to make this video today as my colleague, Soonja Kim, and dear friend of mine, who is a QHHD practitioner, had made a video back in the beginning of December 2024. In her video, she talks about three clients that came to see her that had all been dealing with family members who basically had hung themselves and committed suicide. So, in this succession of pattern, she believed that there was a great lesson there, and she was inspired to make this really quite a very good video. So, the video inspired me to do the same. Now, I'll link that video for you in the description box so you can get the full effect of what was experienced in that video with Soonja and her clients. So, basically, I've been seeing patterns. I'm going to say since October of 2024. And basically, I had an extraordinary amount of clients who basically we discovered through our interview session that they were empathic. So this is became something that I felt was super important because it was really challenging and affecting their lives. It was causing a lot of great negativity. And I believe I was able to assist them and spot them being empaths because I'm an empath myself. So, what is an empath? There's not much talked about it. It's not recognized. It's not diagnosed. It's basically in the world of psychology and psychiatry. It's not really discussed. I wanted to give you a definition from Webster's dictionary or some other scientific place, and basically everybody has a different definition. But the core of being an empath is basically you are somebody that really picks up on subtleties of emotions and moods and resonances and frequencies of other people. It can not only be limited to people, it can be environments, it can be animals, it can be surroundings. So having dealt with this myself, I think we need to come up with a new definition. So basically, you are very sensitive to the emotions, moods, and vibrancies of other people. And basically, this can really affect you in negative ways. It can affect you in positive ways. So if everybody's happy and cheerful and having a great time, you're going to do the same. But often where it challenges us is in where you're experiencing those negative emotions, those negative feelings, people who are ranting and venting on a constant basis. This can be really difficult for us. So basically what ended up happening through my experience, and I'd love to share my experience with you, because I think it's the best way to convey what being an empath is and my challenge and my journey. So basically, big extroverted personality, always wanting to help people, always willing to listen to people. I was, management and executive management for many years throughout my career. So I was always basically listening to people's problems. And often, I would just ask somebody how they were doing, and the whole life story would come out. No doubt that I'm a QHHD practitioner today. So basically, what ends up happening is people end up spilling a lot of stuff to you and telling you their deep, dark secrets, telling you what they're dealing with on a regular basis, and they often share their pain with you. So their pain, their suffering, their depression, all those deep, dark, negative emotions. So in my effort to want to help these people, what I didn't realize was not only was I listening, but I was ingesting all these emotions and bringing them into my body. I really didn't understand what was happening or how or why I was doing this, but it took me a really long time to figure this all out. So basically, what would happen is as I progressed in my career, I started getting really ill. And so, a lot of stomach problems. One week or 1 month I'd be constipated, then I'd have diarrhea. I would get constant stomach pains. I'd be bent over in pain. I would have bloating issues. And so basically, I took it down to my diet. So I started exploring my diet and started changing things in my diet. So took out all meat, basically went to a pescatarian diet, took out wheat, thinking perhaps maybe I was allergic to wheat, being glucose intolerant, and basically experimented with all those things, but never really found any great relief. Went to vegetable diets, being vegetarian, and always came away from my meals feeling very fatigued, very down, never energized, and always like just ready to roll over and go to bed. So I was a very young woman at the time, and I just couldn't understand why I kept feeling the way that I did. So then my health got worse, and basically I started getting lots of headaches, suffering from hives and rashes, getting a lot of itchiness, fatigue, even more tiredness setting in. I could sleep for 10 hours and wake up and still not be energized. I was getting brain fog. I would just completely miss parts of my life, and I was struggling in my career because I was forgetting things. And then what really set me back was I was getting completely bloated. My body was just suffering, and something was happening. Didn't seem to be able to cleanse my body. So it had gotten so bad that literally my legs were so bloated that I had a really difficult time walking, and I was barely 30. So there was something really wrong with me. Doctors weren't working for me, not very good with medications. So nothing was really helping me. The only thing that I could really grab onto was my diet, because that was something that I could control. So then one day, basically, as I'm suffering through all these symptoms and side effects and just trying to get through my day, a work colleague of mine said, "Why don't you go see a naturopath that I've been seeing?" And she's been able to help me. Well, I did. And she sent me for testing. And the person who did all the testing turned out to be a fantastic rifologist. And rifologists work with energy and parts of nerves in your hands and your feet. It comes from Chinese medicine, but has worked with science where energy waves can basically read what's going on in your body and do a lot of testing immediately. So basically, this wonderful healer discovered that I had parasites, and the whole thing started to make sense to me now. So what parasites do is they're these little creatures that live in your stomach and your bloodstream. They're natural. They are a part of our natural world. They come from the dirt. They live on plants. They're in foods. So parasites are just a part of our world and how things get broken down and recycled. So, when you have an animal that passes away in the forest floor, there's bacteria and parasites that eat up that carcass and basically dispel that back into the earth, and that all recycles nitrogen and different types of minerals, and it's a part of our natural cycle. So basically, I had parasites that my body really didn't like. So all the symptoms that I was experiencing were causing these things. So think about it. What do parasites do? When a parasite is in a body, an animal, or a human being, it basically robs the human of all the nutrition that it eats. So it steals your nutrition and it takes it in order to survive. And then it excretes that acidity or acid into your body, which causes all those problems. So basically, what ends up happening is your body reaches a very high acidic rate. And that's when you get the hives and the bloating and the brain fog and the the itching and the scratching and not being able to sleep and the sugar cravings and all these things that never get diagnosed. And they are just the simple side effects of having parasites living in your stomach. Well, we all understand gut biome. And if you don't, you should be educating yourself because the diversity of bacteria that are required in your natural gut biome basically are hundreds. I think they're even into the millions. And basically, parasites rob you of all the good bacteria in your body. So once I discovered this, I went down the journey of getting rid of them with natural remedies like cloves and wormwood. There's all types of things that you can do. I was very fortunate that my healer made his own remedies with a biochemist. They were all organic and very, very helpful. So then I spent the next 5 or 6 years getting rid of parasites. And then I would get super stressed. And then the parasites would come back. And then I would go back to the healer and start the regimen all over again. So I went through the cycle for about 5 or 6 years, not really truly understanding always how the parasites were coming into my world. So again, I thought it was very much about my diet and traveling. I'd be or super stressed out at work. And so I'd always sort of been able to connect, super high stress times were when those parasites would come in. So I worked in the fashion world and I'd often go to the US for fashion shows and, always come back with parasites. Well, it made sense because these were super high stress times, had to make a lot of decisions very quickly, put together an entire year's worth of buying. And so basically would always end up at the end of these trips with parasites. So, but why was this cycle happening outside of stress? So basically, as I worked with my healer and was able to see things that were going on around me, I was able to determine that how I was letting these parasites in was because I was empathic. And being empathic, what it did was I took on all of people's negativities, stress, low vibe emotions, their venting, their ranting, their raving. And I really took all of those on and brought them into my stomach. And that's why I was getting the parasites. So, in tangent with this, we all have auras and we have these incredible bubble like protection systems that are around us all the time, every day. It's a part of our energy frequency, it's a part of who we are being on this planet at this time. So, usually, what happens in meditation is you should connect with your aura and understand, is that aura too wide out? I'm an extrovert, so often my aura is all over the place. And because I'm chatting and meeting people and excited and extroverted. So often in meditation, what I had to do was bring my aura back in. And basically, it's recommended that you bring it back into about 2 to 3 feet. Then we have people on the opposite side, we'll just call them introverts, whose basically their auras are very tight to their body, not allowing them breathing space, not allowing them to grow and expand and learn, and basically just sort of keeping them trapped on a regular basis. So what I learned was that I had to identify my aura, and I had to understand whether my aura on a regular basis, was it too far out or was it too close in? So being an extrovert, it was usually too far out. So I learned to, through meditation, bring that aura back in. And so this is a bubble, an energetic bubble that surrounds your entire body, just like being in an egg, being in a pod. So this generates a frequency, and this frequency protects you and can become a shield. So what I started to understand was that my aura had holes and rips and tears. And so what that meant was that negative energies and negative frequencies were consistently coming into my zone. So I was getting sick because I was vulnerable and open to basically all this negativity coming into my aura. And because I didn't know how to get rid of it and detoxify from it, I was basically keeping it in my aura. And that's what was leading me to getting very sick and having parasites on a regular basis. So, after lots of work and now evolving into meditation and understanding my aura and repairing my aura on a regular basis and keeping it strong and understanding basically spiritual cleansing, I was able to stop a lot of the illness that I was experiencing. And I also went through a journey where I had to learn to set boundaries. And I had to learn that not everybody was my friend and I couldn't help everybody. And I wasn't going to be benefiting all these people by taking in their emotions and their problems. I had to learn for people to go on their own journeys and find their own ways. And if I could give them help and help and advice, that was a great thing. But I had to understand where that limit was set. So I learned that over time, and I was able to exercise that through meditation and spiritual cleansing, and basically understanding there was relationships that I had to let go. There was a lot of very toxic people in my life that I was not benefiting from. These were people that were often addicted to all types of things, drugs, alcohol. They were narcissists. They were in narcissistic relationships. They were in abusive relationships. And what I came to understand as I was growing and propelling was that these people were really not good for me. So being an empath and identifying you're an empath is really very important, because once you understand that you are susceptible to your environment, and that is people, places, animals, all the things that are around you that you are sensitive to, and you are picking up on those vibrations and those resonances, that basically they can affect you to the point where they can destroy your health, they can make you depressed, they can stop you from growing, this can stop you from really understanding who you are as a person and reaching your full potential. So now, that's one side of being empathic. So let's talk about all the exciting and major things of how you can turn this gift, and I call it a gift, how you can turn this gift around and turn it into your superpower. So now you have this ability to truly understand the vibrations, the emotions, the feelings, all the things that are around you on a regular basis. And so we kind of now take that being empathic and turn it into your intuition and your discernment. So that being empathic, basically when you're feeling great, you know things are good around you. You know you're with the right people. You know you're eating the right foods. You know you're watching the right TV shows and movies. You know you're listening to the right music because you feel good. You're happy, you're excited, you're inspired, you're motivated, you're all these wonderful things. So take those feelings and take how that feels and now start using it to monitor and review what's going on around you. So let's just take a small example. So you're at work and you despise going to work. You hate waking up, you don't feel good, you got a stomach pain on the way to work. You get to work, you see your colleagues and your boss, and you just, now you get headaches all day and you don't feel good. So basically, that's telling you that you're in the wrong job. You're in the wrong job. You're with the wrong people. It could be multiple. It could be both wrong job, wrong people, or it could just be you're in the right career, but you're in the wrong company. So start listening to those things and start listening to how your body feels. Start listening to the symptoms that you're experiencing. Are you getting headaches? Are you getting back pains? Are you, do you constantly get throat issues? Are you getting colds all the time? Well, those are things that are telling you as an empath that you're on the wrong road. So now you've got the ability to understand that when you're feeling good, things are good, you're going down the right path, and your opportunities and your world should be opening up for you. So when you're down the wrong path, you're not feeling good, you're getting all kinds of symptoms, you should know that you're in the wrong path with the wrong people at the wrong place. So start to be aware of those types of things. So now you have a superpower. And that superpower is your beacon or your antenna within your empathic abilities is really signaling to you when you should stop and when you should go. So, you turn on a movie and you're feeling good and that movie's great. So you keep going, you watch that movie. That's your empathicness telling you you're in the right place and you're watching the right movie. Or you turn on a film and not feeling it, feels really bad, very doomy, very gloomy, a lot of violence, a lot of subject matter that you don't really want to deal with at this moment. Could be very problematic. And so what do? You keep watching that movie. So you watch that movie to the end, you finish, and you don't feel good. Well, that was your empathy telling you, your empathic ability telling you that that was not the movie for you and that you weren't going to have a great 2 hours. And so the disadvantage of this is if you don't listen to this antenna, what happens is you watch a movie for 2 hours and you have the next day or the rest of the day, you really don't feel good. You don't sleep well, you don't wake up well, and you just can't stop thinking about all the rotten things you saw in this movie. So that's what being an empath does, is it alarms you and gives you signals as to what's good for you. And so when you learn to walk away from the things that are not good for you, and you learn to decipher and review those things, and you learn to make choices that are better for you so that you feel good and you're happy and you're excited about life, then you know you're on the right track. So it's a superpower. And that also what that superpower can do for you is when you meet people and you really like somebody, great. You probably are on the right path to, meeting a great partner or a great friend. But take your time with that and see how your feelings go as you slowly and subtly exchange energy between that person. It'll also help you when opportunities arise. Listen to your instinct. Ask your gut, how do you feel? Does this feel like a good thing or does this feel like a bad thing? When you are in the supermarket and you're choosing apples and you hold that apple in your hand, just ask yourself, does that feel like a good apple or does that feel like a bad apple? And trust me, 100% of the time, your body will tell you if it's a good apple or a bad apple. So being empathic is a really wonderful and inspiring thing that you can make into your superpower. It's also often associated with your galactic lineage history. And I urge you to really discover that piece, because without the galactic piece, you could be suffering from all types of things in your life, from depression to physical ailments that never get diagnosed and never get helped. So that's my story for today. I hope I've helped you. I hope I've powered you. And if you are empathic or think you may be empathic, please feel free to put comments below. And if there's something I can help you with, I'd be more than happy to reach out and give you some tips. I'll also link some books about being empathic in the description box that may help you. There's also YouTube videos and all types of things. But the main reason why I wanted to make this video for you today is to let you know that being empathic is actually quite relevant and important. And understanding that you're empathic can solve a lot of problems in your life. And so today is about awareness and understanding that, some of your issues that you're dealing with may be caused in being empathic. You can ask this question in past life regression. We can dive deeper into it in your interview. And we can also look at what you're experiencing in your past life regression to know if this is something that can be dealt with and encouraged and empowered for you so that you live your best life. I'm Anita Pastor, and thanks for listening to my channel. And this is QHHT Hypnosis, Past Life Regression. Thanks and have a great day.